Okay, let's unpack this. We're dropping into one of the most relatable conflicts of modern life.
Hmm.
It's 9 p.m. You've been making decisions all day, what to wear, what to eat, what to say in that email. Your mental gas tank is it's running on fumes.
And that gym bag you packed this time.
Oh, sitting there, untouched,
Yeah.
staring at you. Meanwhile, the cheesecake is calling, and Netflix just autoplayed the next episode of some documentary you can't stop watching.
That moment, that exact 9 p.m. scenario, it's a perfect psychological trap. And what the sources make really clear is that, like, 90% of people cave right then.
Even when they know exactly what they should be doing for their future self.
Right.
And traditionally, we're taught the answer is just, more discipline, more willpower, just try harder. That's the old school of thought from Ray Baumeister's research back in the 90s, right? This idea of ego depletion.
Exactly. The idea that self-control is like a muscle that just gets tired,
Yes.
that it runs out like gas.
But that idea, as satisfying as it feels, it kind of sets us all up to fail.
It does. It encourages us to fight this mental war we're basically designed to lose. So the core thesis we pulled from all this is a total paradigm shift. The people who consistently win, who make great choices, it's not that they have superhuman discipline.
Wait, what is it?
They've built systems that are so effective, they've basically stopped needing willpower in the first place.
Okay, so before we get to the systems, let's just spend a minute on why that old idea, willpower as a resource that runs out, is, well, largely outdated. Because the science has really moved on.
It's crucial context. So myth number one is that willpower is a muscle that gets tired. And while Baumeister's early work was, groundbreaking for its time,
Sure.
newer, much more rigorous meta-analyses show the effect is actually tiny, or maybe even non-existent when you measure it properly.
Wow, so that's a real game changer. It means if you feel mentally tired, and that feeling is very real.
It's cognitive fatigue, absolutely.
But it doesn't mean you're physically incapable of making a good choice. It just means your brain is looking for the easy way out.
Precisely. The game is rigged if you rely on brute force. Which brings us to myth two, that motivation is enough.
Right. Motivation is a feeling. It comes and goes. You can't schedule it for 9 p.m. on a Tuesday.
And then myth three, that decision fatigue is just unavoidable. But if that were true, the most successful people in the world couldn't function.
That's a great point. You look at someone like Jeff Bezos. He wears the same simple outfit every day. All his big, high IQ decisions, he makes them before noon.
He engineered decision fatigue out of his life. He built a system. And that's our mission in this deep dive, to give you those unfair advantages, the filters, the models, the systems that make a good choice automatic instead of a fight.
Okay, let's start with the immediate fixes, the things you can use in the moment. The sources call them the under 60-second test.
The first one is the regret minimization framework. Jeff Bezos famously used this when he was deciding whether to leave his job to start Amazon.
And the question is simple.
So simple. In 10 years, will I regret not doing this?
That's powerful. It instantly yanks you out of the present moment and forces you to think like your future self. It works for starting a company, sure, but it also works for deciding whether to skip a workout.
But here's a good question, right? Does that framework sometimes just create unnecessary guilt? Or push you into risks you maybe shouldn't take?
That's a fair challenge. I think it's designed for expansion, for choosing between a hard thing with a big upside versus doing nothing. For something like saying no to a third drink, that's more about damage control.
Which is a perfect lead-in to filter two, the 10-10-10 rule.
From Susie Welch.
Right. You ask, how will I feel about this in 10 minutes? 10 months, 10 years. That piece of junk food is amazing in 10 minutes.
But probably awful in 10 months when you think about your health goals. And a hard workout is the exact opposite. It's painful now, but the payoff in 10 months or 10 years is huge.
Filter 3 makes that even more real. It's called future self-visualization. There's some fascinating research here from Hal Hirschfield at UCLA.
What did he find?
He found that people who spend 1 minute vividly picturing their 70-year-old selves, like actually seeing future you, either vibrant and healthy or struggling, they save twice as much money, and they make healthier food choices immediately.
It's because we treat our future self like a stranger, don't we?
Yeah.
This exercise forces you to connect with that person.
You realize you're either helping them or hurting them with what you do right now. And the last quick filter is number 4, the expansion versus contraction test.
Okay, what's that?
You just ask. Does this choice expand my future options or does it contract them? 2 hours of scrolling social media. That's contraction. Less energy, less knowledge.
But 2 hours reading a book or working out, That's massive expansion. More skills, more health, more options down the line. If a choice fails even two of these four filters, the answer is pretty obvious.
It really is.
Okay, excellent. So those are the rapid-fire tools. Now let's go a level deeper, from quick filters to the mental models for more strategic thinking.
Yeah, here's where it gets really interesting. Model 1 is so powerful because it uses negativity to find clarity. It's inversion.
Popularized by Charlie Munger.
Right. Instead of asking, how do I succeed, you flip it. You ask, how could I guarantee failure?
So for health, it's like, how could I absolutely ruin my body in the next 5 years?
Exactly. And the answer is easy, right? Sleep less than 6 hours, eat ultra-processed junk, never move, bottle up all your stress.
And once you have that clear road to ruin, the path to success is just avoid that road.
It's often so much easier to see what not to do, which leads to model 2, second-order consequences. You always have to ask, and then what?
Because we're masters of only thinking about the first thing, the immediate gratification.
Totally. Take a donut. First order, tastes amazing. Second order, the blood sugar crash an hour later, the brain fog.
And then the third order, the guilt, maybe the inflammation, and the fact that you're more likely to make another bad choice tomorrow because you break the chain today.
Yeah. Discipline lives in that second and third order, and model 3 is critical for time. Opportunity cost thinking. Every single time you say yes to something.
You're saying no to 1,000 other things.
1,000 invisible no's. Saying yes to 2 hours of random TV is saying no to calling a friend, or learning a skill, or just getting the rest your body desperately needs.
And the fourth model is about speed. It's another one from Bezos. Reversible versus irreversible decisions.
The sources break it down into 2 types. Type 1 decisions are reversible. Trying a new workout, deleting an app for a week. The cost of being wrong is low.
So for those, you move fast. 90% speed.
But type 2 decisions, those are irreversible, or at least very hard to undo. A tattoo, quitting a job with no plan, taking on major debt.
And for those, you use 90% caution. Slow down, think it through.
And then we get to what might be the most powerful model of all, identity-first decision-making, from James Clear.
This one is a huge shift. Instead of asking, do I feel like doing this?
You ask, what would a healthy person do? Or, what would the disciplined person I'm trying to become do right now?
It takes the emotion and the debate completely out of it.
It's monumental. If you identify as a runner, you don't really debate if you should run, you just figure out when. If your identity is, I'm a person who doesn't eat added sugar, then saying no to cake requires 0 willpower. It's just not who you are.
But what if you slip up? Doesn't that just shatter the whole identity you're trying to build?
That's a great question. And no, it doesn't shatter it. It tests it. The goal isn't perfection. It's just building evidence. A slip-up doesn't make you an unhealthy person. You just reaffirm your identity with the very next choice you make.
Got it. Okay, let's wrap up the models with 2 quick ones. The 80-year-old test.
A simple one. If your 80-year-old self was watching you right now, would they be cheering or crying?
Oof, that's a good one. And the last one is the sunk cost fallacy killer. This is huge for waste, both with food and money.
The cheesecake you already bought doesn't have to be eaten just because you spent money on it. That money is gone. The only decision that matters is the one you're making right now.
All right, so now we shift from analysis to pure engineering. If willpower is optional, how do we make the good choices automatic? This is where the systems come in.
Exactly. Strategy 1 is the foundation of everything. Environment redesign. All the big behavioral scientists, Thaler and Sunstein, BJ Fogg, they all say the same thing. Design your environment for the person you want to become.
It's so simple but so profound. If you don't want to eat the junk food, just don't let it in the house.
It's not weakness, it's intelligence.
Yeah.
You're removing the temptation so you don't have to fight it. You're making the good choice the default.
And then you have the proactive tools, strategy 2. Implementation intentions, the if-then plans.
This is a massive shortcut. The research here is incredible. Just being specific, like this boosts your follow-through by 200 to 300%.
Okay, so why? What's the mechanism that makes it so effective?
It automates the decision. It offloads the mental work. Instead of a vague goal like, I'll exercise tomorrow, which requires a bunch of stressful, in-the-moment decisions.
Right, where do I go? What do I do when?
You create a script. If it's 5:30 p.m. when I get home, then I will immediately put on my running shoes and go outside. The decision is already made. The cue happens, the action triggers, no debate.
Strategy 3 is about using outside forces, commitment devices, and public accountability.
This is where you tell a friend you'll pay them $100 if you miss a goal. Or use a tool like stickcook.com.
Social pressure and financial penalties.
They're rocket fuel. They create an external cost of failure that is often way more powerful than our internal desire for comfort.
And strategy 4 is a classic. Friction. Adding it or removing it.
This is where you get really practical. Make bad choices harder and good choices easier. You want to stop online shopping. Freeze your credit card in a block of ice.
By the time it thaws, the impulse is gone.
Exactly. And to remove friction, if you want to read in the morning, put the book on your pillow so you literally can't miss it. Every tiny second of effort you add to a bad habit or remove from a good one, it all compounds.
Here we have to mention James Clear's habit stacking, strategy 5.
Right. Attach the new habit you want to an old one that's already automatic. After I brush my teeth, I will do 20 push-ups.
Yeah.
You're riding the momentum you already have.
And strategy 6 is that identity reframing again, but in your language.
Don't say, I'm trying to quit sugar. Say, I don't need added sugar. The first one implies a constant struggle. The second is a settled fact. It's who you are.
Okay, and finally, there was that fascinating little emergency tool in the source material, glucose priming.
Yeah, this is for emergencies only. Say you've had a brutal 14-hour day of negotiating. Your brain is just done. A tiny sip of something with real sugar, like lemonade, can temporarily restore just enough cognitive function to make 1 or 2 final good choices before you crash. It's a last resort, not a daily trick.
All right, all of these tools are fantastic. Let's put it all together in an actionable way. How do you apply this to any big choice you're facing?
We're calling this the 5-minute decision protocol. You can run this whole sequence in under 5 minutes.
Okay, step 1.
Step 1, 30 seconds. Write the decision down in one clear sentence. Do I work on this presentation or do I scroll social media?
Step 2, 60 seconds. Run the 10-10-10 rule and the future self question. What will a version of me 10 years from now be glad I did?
Step 3, 90 seconds. Think about the second-order consequences. Is this choice going to lead to expansion or contraction for me tomorrow?
Step 4, 60 seconds. The identity check. Take the feeling out of it. What would the version of me I respect most do right now?
And finally, step 5, the last 60 seconds. Design an if-then plan or an environment tweak to make the good choice automatic next time. If I finish this presentation, then I will close my laptop and go for a walk.
5 minutes. The struggle is gone and the path is clear. It's not about fighting anymore. It's about having a system.
So what this all means for you listening right now is that you have these unfair advantages, the filters, the models, the systems. They catch you before you fall into that 9 p.m. trap. You're not playing the game of willpower anymore, which science shows is unreliable at best. You're playing a systems game.
A game you are now rigged to win. And we want to leave you with one immediate practical challenge, something you can do right now.
It's a 3-part challenge, and it should take you less than 60 seconds after this deep dive ends. First, vividly picture your strongest, proudest future self thanking you.
Second, identify the one piece of friction you can remove for tomorrow. Maybe it's laying out your gym clothes. Do it right now.
And third, identify one piece of friction you need to add. Find your phone charger and move it out of your bedroom. Take that step right now. Make tomorrow morning's good choice, getting real rest instead of doom scrolling completely automatic. Go use these systems.